Ange Postecoglou in or Ange Postecoglou out? Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. Yes, this video is going to centre around that very question. It has been a very poor start to the season by Tottenham standards and, well, the usual racing out the traps early kind of standards to really kick off a season. But this one has been a little different. And yesterday's result, a 1-0 defeat against their fierce and local rivals Arsenal, only added to the pressure that is currently building on the shoulders of Ange Postecoglou and those Tottenham players. And even some of their fans have really started to turn against the Australian manager. We're going to be talking about Postecoglou, about Tottenham, about their season so far, and of course the result of yesterday. But before we go any further in discussing all of that and maybe much more, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and forever be truly appreciated. Thank you for your continued support as always. And of course, I want to get your thoughts on this. I want to get your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, right down there in the comment section. So please do use and abuse that section, people. Thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, on Tottenham, on Postecoglou, and anything that you want to talk about in relation to this video. I'm sure will make for great interest in reading down there. So please do talk to me on this. I would love to hear from you all. But without further ado, let's get on with talking about Tottenham. Let's get on with talking about Postecoglou. Let's get on with talking about everything else in between. Where to start this video off? Yesterday's performance against Arsenal was toothless. That is basically a word that has been thrown around a lot to describe Tottenham's start to the season. Toothless. A disappointing draw in their opening game against Leicester. A win against, obviously, a very disappointing Everton side who have been shocking this season. And there may be a video to come on them sooner rather than later. But then other than that, like I say, the draw against Leicester, a loss against Newcastle in which they were toothless again, and then yesterday against Arsenal, they had opportunities in the first half, but as the game wore on, they ran out of steam, they ran out of energy, they ran out of ideas, they ran out of creativity, and were ultimately again toothless in attack, and Arsenal didn't even need to come out of second gear to beat them. Going into the game, you're looking at Spurs and going, right, they've got a very good opportunity here to beat this Arsenal side, who have got no Declan Rice, they've got no Martin Odegaard. This is a fantastic opportunity for Tottenham at home to get one over on the old enemy of Arsenal. And they didn't. And instead, Arsenal beat them. It was a Gabriel header in the second half. That was the difference maker on the day. Poor defending by Christian Romero. It was shocking from them, in all honesty. It really, really was shocking from Tottenham, in all honesty. Once again, caught out from set pieces. Their set piece record is terrible. Their clean sheet record is abysmal. I think I remember hearing someone say yesterday that it's something along the lines of 4 clean sheets in 37 games. It is simply not good enough, and the pressure is already brewing on the shoulders of Ange Postecoglou and this Tottenham side. And I gotta say this, it's not all on Postecoglou. Yes, I have been critical of Postecoglou since he started his reign as Tottenham manager. I've questioned whether or not he is flexible enough, whether or not he can adapt, whether or not he can modify his style a little bit to accommodate for either the players he has or for the league and the opposition that he's coming up against. And he's not done that. He's not done that, and he constantly says in press conferences and interviews that the way he plays, he isn't changing for anyone. And there's something to be admired about that, but also it is very stubborn and very stupid, because it's the very thing that is going to get him the sack. I admire Postecoglou. I think he's a breath of fresh air. I can see why Spurs fans initially were drawn to him with his charisma, with his sort of down-to-earth sort of vibe you get from him. He just seems like the kind of guy that you could easily just go to a bar, go to a pub for a drink with, whatever. I can very much understand why many people were drawn to him and why he is so likeable. But in a footballing sense, his stubbornness, his even sense of delusion at times when talking about how he wins things in the second season wherever he goes, and that he's constantly done this wherever he's gone, where he doesn't change for anybody and anything, and he constantly wins trophies. We said when he was arriving in England, this is a different kettle of fish. This is a different league. This is a different intensity. This is a different tenacity, physicality level to anything and everywhere that he's been. And I didn't disrespect where he's been before, but I just said the Premier League is different. And now I think we're finding out if he's not going to change anytime soon, Tottenham's decline is going to take even more of a nosedive than what it is seemingly taking right now. I feel sorry for him because it's not exactly like he is the main guy at fault. I feel like he's been left with a few bad cards in the hand that he's got. Daniel Levy being the dealer in this situation here, because he's basically, you know, not opening his checkbook out anytime soon. Yes, Spurs did splash a lot of money over the past couple of summers. Yes, Spurs have splashed over 100 million even in this summer on the likes of Dominic Solanke and Archie Gray. Archie Gray, by the way, for 45 million or whatever it was, didn't even play yesterday. So where's he at? Where is he at? And Dominic Solanke is still finding his feet in a new surrounding, new team with bigger expectations, and with all due respect to obviously the previous striker, not including Richarlison, because he's not really a footballer really, but he's obviously got big shoes to fill in trying to replace the goals that Harry Kane of last season, the season before, was obviously contributing to the Spurs attack. So, big shoes for him to fill. Big money spent on the likes of Vicario, Van den Ven. Like I say, there's the winger whose name escapes me. Begins with O. I forgot his name. Big money spent. Big money spent on Archie Gray. Big money spent on Solanke, who we've already mentioned. Big money spent on James Maddison as well. He's been extremely disappointing. You'd have to say that he started the season off typically like a typical Tottenham season, with this one being the exception. Out the trap like a greyhound, and then he's flopped. He got injured, and since he's come back, he's flopped. And Spurs have flopped. And I'm looking at yesterday's performance, and I'm going, if you're playing all of this attacking football, if you have all of this possession, but you're doing nothing with it, and your main philosophy and basis of playing football is possession-based, attacking, high press, high tempo, entertaining, and you're doing none of those things because Arsenal are just letting you have the ball because they know you're not going to do anything with it, what else have you got? And again, it comes back down to his adaptability, his flexibility. Postecoglou doesn't adapt. He doesn't change for anyone or anything. And it's stupid and it's ridiculous that he's not doing it. Because when you look at the players he's got in that squad, when you look at the opposition he's coming up against, the best managers in the world that win things adapt. Even Pep Guardiola. And it may not be like blindingly obvious changes that Guardiola makes. He may make a few little tweaks here and there. He may drop the line a few yards. He may, push someone more inverted. He may bring someone more out wide. He may go for a bit of a rogue change in personnel. Maybe he might start with a Grealish rather than a Doku, or he may put a Foden on the wing, or something along them lines. Jurgen Klopp, when he first came to Liverpool, he tried to do what Postecoglou is doing right now. He tried to play his style of play that he wanted when he was in Germany, and found out very quickly that with the players that he had and with the opposition of the Premier League, he was never going to quite get it to how he imagined it in his head. So he had to adapt, and adapt he definitely did, which is why he was successful in England. Postecoglou has got a great style of play. Postecoglou has got a great attitude, right mentality, but you can tell that mentality and that attitude is dropping by the second with every frustrating defeat, every frustrating even dropping of points, every question is being asked about in press conferences and interviews. You can tell that kind of happy, chirpy, Aussie kind of style and kind of aura that he came with is slowly but surely dwindling because he touched Tottenham. He went into Tottenham and that is dwindling and that is dying before our very eyes. And it's quite sad to see. And again, it's not all on him. The board needed to back him more, or they needed to spend their money more wisely. I think they have spent a lot of money these past couple of years, Spurs, but I don't necessarily think they've brought the right kind of players. They seem to be going for a more youthful approach, which, again, could work in the long run, but, again, many teams now are looking at this future rather than looking at what is here in the here and now. Like, having all these youngsters, we questioned at the beginning of the season Tottenham's strength and depth in terms of leadership and experience, and it seems that they've got very little of that. And it does seem that one injury, and a bad injury at that, to Mickey van der Ven, and that team is going to collapse. That team is going to collapse. The high line is something that Van der Ven is very good at covering. But he can't do it all on his own. When he goes, if he goes, is Postecoglou going to adapt then? Is he going to drop the line another 10 yards? Is he going to try and play a bit deeper? I don't think he will. I don't think he will. It's incredible that we are seeing this incredible defender bail Tottenham out time and time again. They've got a goalkeeper who flaps at corners. He doesn't command his area from set pieces at all. A right back who is consistent but nothing special. A left back who has got a bundle of energy but gives the ball away so cheaply. Romero, who is shocking. He may have a World Cup winners medal to his name, but Jesus Christ, that guy is abysmal. I have never understood this Romero hype, especially from Spurs fans who seemingly put him in the same bracket as some of the top defenders in the world today. A midfield which is unbalanced and awkward at times. Sarr is probably their best midfielder. Basuma's not the guy that he was at Brighton. I've never understood the hype truly around Bentancur, in all honesty. I've never really understood that completely. James Maddison, as we mentioned earlier, dropped off a cliff in his form. Kulusevski, hot and cold, hit and miss. Son hasn't been the same Son of a couple of years ago. He really does miss Harry Kane. Richarlison is awful. Dominic Solanke, I feel a little bit sorry for him. He should have known really what he was getting himself into when he signed, but at the same time, he's only just came into that club. I really do feel for some of these players that are still there, the likes of Son, who probably deserve better. But at the same time, in all saying that, this whole situation at Spurs needs to be looked at. This whole situation at Spurs needs to truly be looked at and gone through with a fine-tooth comb, especially by Tottenham fans. Like, we all know about your situations with Daniel Levy and the people in power. We all know they haven't properly backed managers. We all know that they're making mistakes. They all know that they're focusing on their next concert or Formula One track or boxing event or whatever the hell they can bring into that stadium rather than what's happening on the football pitch of that stadium. We know that, and I somewhat feel sorry for you all on that level. But Postecoglou, man, like I say, he's not adapting. He's not adapting. He's being so stubborn in his approach. And if he isn't careful and he doesn't change things soon, he's going to find himself looking for his next job. He really, really is. As much as he may be a nice guy, as much as he may be a very charismatic figure and a very influential figure at that, his stubbornness is going to get him the sack. He stands there, he sees the issue. If I can see the issues from the outside looking in, and I'm not a Tottenham fan, and Tottenham fans can see them, I'm pretty sure he can see them. He's just not addressing them. Because yesterday, Arsenal were in second gear throughout the entirety of the 90 minutes. They toyed with Tottenham. They basically gave Tottenham the ball a number of times. Every opportunity they got, they just gave Tottenham the ball because they knew that defensively they were going to be solid and disciplined, and that attacking-wise, Spurs were not going to break them down. And that's exactly what happened. Spurs did not break Arsenal down, especially in that second half. The first half, you could argue that Spurs had one or two opportunities that maybe they should have done better with. But apart from that, what really did Spurs do in that game? What did they really do in that game? Postecoglou is walking a very thin tightrope. And I think next week they actually come up against Manchester United, who, okay, they did beat Southampton, but let's face it, it's Southampton. So that is a massive must-win game for both managers there to ease the pressure. Because although United did beat Southampton, and eventually it was quite convincingly, one bad result flips it all around again for United. And especially if it's going to be against Tottenham. So next week, a massive El Sacico between Manchester United and Tottenham. And of course, Europa League is set to play out between now and then as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a very intriguing, very interesting game for everybody to watch. It's going to be an interesting time at Tottenham. But like I say, Postecoglou is walking a tightrope, and if he doesn't change anytime soon, if he doesn't adapt, if he doesn't modify his style even a little bit, he's going to find himself out of a job. That's just the unfortunate reality. These are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of this Ange Postecoglou and Tottenham situation? Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, down below in that comment section. I'm sure it'll all make it interesting and great reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will soon speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. Speak to you all again very, very soon.